head's out of the way. Okay, check on your phone and see if we get a notification. Hello? Can anyone hear me? Can anyone see me? Are we live right now? I think we're live.
Yep.
Did it go out? Both Facebook and Instagram are having huge issues today. Can't like, can't comment, can't go live on Instagram, can't go live on Facebook, having trouble putting videos out there. It's a mess. It's a real mess. It's 7:10 now, guys, so sorry I couldn't, kind of promote anything. Let me get the chat going. We're trying a new software, so let's see if this works. Hey, people are on. Cool. We're actually using a new software to go live. So, hey Andrew, how you doing? Zev, good to see you. Antonio, good to see you on. Gargantua and Andrew Howe. Audio and visual are both great. Okay, cool. So we're looking pretty good. Instagram's still down. I tried to go live with that. Has anyone else been experiencing the same sorts of things? I can't even upload to my story. I think they're having huge issues and everything's kind of shut down. Johnny Coombs, good to see you on. Yeah, we're having some huge issues. I'm not sure what's going on with Instagram and Facebook today, but unable to go live. Hopefully you guys can see me here. Zev, do you know Calvin Tang? Yes, I do. I do know Calvin. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why it's that way, but for some reason they're having software issues. I haven't looked into it, but it seems like I hope you talk about how to retire early while having a big budget. Yeah, so I can definitely talk about fat fire. So there's lean fire, regular fire, and then fat fire. Lean fire is like a super lean budget, you're super frugal, and then fat fire is the mentality that like you just spend how you want to spend. You live the fat fire lifestyle. Most people doing the fat fire lifestyle need a few million to retire because they need, 6 figures passive income to support their lifestyle. I'm actually after the fat fire myself. Even though I lead a lean fire now, I'm thinking to myself, what if someday things change? I got my second child on the way very soon here, so what might change, right? I might have a taste for the good life, and I want to make sure I always have options for my kids, for myself, future generations, and legacy. So for me, I kind of shifted a little bit about the fat fire. What age did you find fire? So I found fire when I was 17 or 18 in my dorm room. At 17, I went away to university, so I was in my dorm room around 17, 18. I discovered early retirement extreme. This is probably like 2010-ish, I guess. I became a big fire fan follower. It wasn't really called the fire movement. It was called like early retirement movement. And then someone started branding fire. I don't even know where I heard it. I just remember thinking I remember typing in FI. It was all about the financial independence. And then there was RE, which is retiring early. And there was like 2 subreddits that was like FI and RE. And then someone combined them, was like FI and RE are the same thing. Why isn't it like fire? So I think that's kind of where it came from. Let me know if it's coming in loud and clear, if you guys can hear me loud and clear. I know we've been having technical difficulties today with Facebook and with Instagram. I don't know if Google's having the same sorts of issues as Facebook, but you guys have to let me know. Tiger Rocks, good to see you on. We're going to talk today. Actually, I have a brand new whiteboard, which is pretty cool. I wanted to show you guys. Loud and clear, audio is good. Perfect. Okay, so we're trying some new stuff here, and I have a really cool whiteboard we actually built here behind me. It's full size, real whiteboard built into the wall, so we can get into some cool scenarios today if my phone will, if it'll work, because Instagram and Facebook haven't been working. But yeah, we can get into some really cool stuff. We can do some analysis. We can talk about, leverage or whatever business concept you guys want to talk about. This is supposed to be a real estate investing Q&A. Yeah, turn and show let's turn and show the camera. It's full floor to ceiling. You have to really go back, Kyle, for them to see it. Maybe. Oh wow, we're almost at the edge of the room. Look at that. We've got a place to put the markers, and there's whiteboard above and below, so it even kind of goes down. You can show them. Yeah, all the way, floor to ceiling, almost whiteboard. Maybe I'll stand there so they can see. Let's put this in my pocket and see. Let's see if you guys can see. I didn't bring a marker in with me, but look at this, guys. Woo! Could you imagine the content? All beautiful whiteboard. So we can get some really cool stuff done in front of here. I'm excited for some really cool videos we're gonna be able to do with this whiteboard. And then we even have spots down below where my daughter can kind of write or whatever. If we run out of room, with like a little Einstein, that we can go down low and do some notes down there. But really cool ideas, actually. This is This is a piece of stair nosing that we were able to use for a ledge to hold like erasers and stuff. Really cool concept. Really excited about that. Getting some videos done with that. Let's see if I can go to the computer here and, oops. Okay. Hello. Good to see you. Jeremiah, good to see you on. Rhonda. Johnny Coombs, do you have any plans for international real estate or any markets other than London? Yeah, definitely. For sure, I have some plans. And Mike, greetings from Acapulco. Have to hit the pool in an hour. Can catch the rest. William, so you're watching the live stream every single Wednesday, even when you're in, where is it? Acapulco. I've never even been there, but I've heard things about it. I've heard good things. Okay, let's go back over here and sit down for a minute. I just shot Saturday's video. You guys are gonna love it. It was a really sincere one. It was a really sincere vlog post where it was almost like a vlog essay, but I kind of just went on tangents and didn't stay to my script that I wrote at all. I kind of just went all over the place. That's how I like to be. It was about the downsides of early retirement, some of the negatives of early retirement, and sort of the depressing factors that you don't really think about, when you go into early retirement. So stay tuned for Saturday's video. I'm really excited for this one because I poured my heart and soul into the video clip, and I hope you guys enjoy it, especially those people who are searching towards FIRE and haven't really experienced it. Having been financially independent, retired early, I haven't had a proper paycheck for my job in over 2 years. So I've been retired now for over 2 years, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, my net worth has grown, and I've not depleted any of my savings, and it has worked out very well financially for me. But there are some negatives. There are some negatives to financial independence, and you'll have to tune in to hear about some of those downsides about your health and all these things that are associated with that, and identity. And so I'm really excited for those set of videos to come out, and Saturday's video specifically will be really, really good. So tune in for that. And William, definitely don't let me hold you back from hitting up the pool. So I gotta finish within an hour. You're saying by 8:15 I gotta be done for sure. I'll try to keep up with that. I don't want to hold you back from the pool. Zev says, the more I learn about real estate investing, the trickier it seems. So much paperwork, lending, networking, tons of potential strategies. Never realized how competitive it gets with the professionals. Whoa, I just saw something pop up. William just sent $20 on a super chat. That's cool. That's really cool. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I know YouTube definitely appreciates it because they're going to take their 40% cut off my super chats. But the good news is when you bribe YouTube, YouTube promotes your videos back. So, incentivizing the right people. Thank you for incentivizing YouTube, and I also appreciate the money. It does help promote the live streams and the channel. Everything I make from YouTube, I put right back in. This month's been a crazy month. You guys haven't maybe been watching the stats, but my secret to retiring early, the 4% safe withdrawal rate video, is almost at 20,000 views. It's like 18,500 views. It's been going way up. And pesos, Mike, like $1. Oh, you tipped in pesos? Now YouTube's gonna be pissed. They're gonna be like, it's thanks. Oh, thank you, Noel. Appreciate that so much. $5. That's awesome, Canadian. That's awesome. Appreciate it so much. Let's lubricate the YouTube algorithm so that it'll promote me, right? YouTube's designed to make money, right? Their algorithm, I believe, above all else. People talk about the secrets of titling, and by the way, titling is really important. You got to put your keywords right in front. But as much as titling is important, I believe money is probably the biggest thing that lubricates the social wheel for YouTube. If YouTube is making money and they take 40% of all, I think they take 60% of all revenue on ads, and they take 40% on super chats. So, oh wow, another one just popped in. $20 Canadian from Dominique. Wow, I guess I just started promoting super chats, and now everyone's lubricating the YouTube wheel. I appreciate that so much, guys. But this new video, The Secret to Retiring Early, 18,500 views. The other video on frugal living to retire early, 36,000 views now. We had 100,000 channel views almost in the last month, which is amazing. Mike Rosehart is the protector of money. This is actually true. I got money, it's got to protect it, take care of it. I don't like to spend money. People know that I'm very frugal. It's part of my brand now, how frugal I am. I'm value conscious. I had an idea I was going to throw past you guys. I'm watching this show I stumbled on this channel called Concrete, Life for Sale. It's got this guy, what's his name? Is it Ben Mala, I think it is. This is like 380 pound, big real estate investor dude who's got like a couple hundred million in real estate. Check out his channel, it's pretty cool. I actually really enjoyed it. He's a real asshole, but some of the stuff he shares is actually really interesting, and the entertainment value is top notch up there. Wow, another $16 super chat. That's amazing. Like today is just blowing up. Everything I get from YouTube, I want to share that point. Because everything's been blowing up, we got 100,000 views in the last month. I've actually made $600 and something on YouTube, which is amazing. I've never thought I'd kind of make that kind of money. And it wasn't the intention. It still isn't the intention with YouTube. I want to take all that money. I want to give it back into making better content for you guys, better videos for you guys. So that's the focus, is to, one, repay all the equipment that I already have, but then also begin investing in new equipment, in new things. We may actually, Kyle and I are going to talk about this after the stream, but I think we should talk about doing like a TV series. I don't know. I don't have a name yet, but wouldn't it be cool? Like maybe every week we just do a video, and it's like season 1, do like 50 episodes, and every season is a year, and we just do 1 a week. And it's literally my life. You can see what's happening in my life, follow me around. I'll go to properties, I'll analyze properties. You can just follow what I do on a daily basis, and mostly it's just I'm literally on my phone like this all day, right? And you can listen to some of the calls, we'll edit it up, and maybe it'd be something cool that would add some value, because I got value from watching his show, and I thought, well, maybe other people will get value from seeing that on a more amateur level, because he's in the commercial space with hotels and big apartment building deals. I'm more in the smaller space, but again, I'm doing volume that most people aren't doing, so that gives me some sort of insight into things that people don't necessarily always see. I obviously don't want to be sued, because I think he's being sued, and a bunch of his brokers and stuff are being sued, so I'd be very, very careful with not being sued. But thank you guys so much. This is amazing. Like, did we just get like $40-something in super chats? Thank you so much. That's amazing. $5.49. I like that. That's the frugal super chat right there. I respect that 100%. Antonio just put $5.49. That's perfect. Oh, good to see you on. If you have to go, no problem at all. Jump in your questions, guys. If you have any real estate investing questions you want to shoot on there, that would be cool. Johnny Combs just shot $1.99. Get the TV series going. Okay, maybe we should. Maybe it should be one of those things where I've got the mentees now living below me, so I should give you guys a cribs tour. That would be, people probably get some value from that. I think doing some cool.
There, can they hear me now? I don't know if they can hear me now or not.
I don't know. Can you hear Kyle too?
Can you hear Kyle?
Do you guys hear him?
Can Kyle be heard?
Are you in this as well?
Yeah, I just mic'd myself up.
There you go. You want to jump in? You want to come sit down? Want to come on camera?
Well,
You just want to see Kyle on camera?
You mentioned the TV thing.
I missed some chats here. My bad. The super chats got me distracted. Talk, Kyle?
Can they hear me? I don't know if they
Yeah,
can hear
they can hear you.
They can hear me? There you go.
The chat's moving. I'm pretty sure they can hear you.
There you go. Suppose
Can someone confirm that they can hear? You're Windsor, Ontario. No problem. Have fun at Windsor OREC. I wish I could go. My wife booked an escape. I hardly get the chance to go away. We're going to a resort with our family this weekend, and it was one of those things where literally if I went to that and chose that over my family, it might have been a deal breaker. So you don't piss off your family. You choose family over everything else. And so that's what I did. So unfortunately, I won't be able to make the Windsor OREC. For the guys who are going to that, like Noel.
the Windsor OREC, I'll be representing.
You'll be there. You'll take a lot of pictures and videos for me, okay?
Yeah.
But like the London original OREC, I will 100% be there. You will see me on the main stage. For sure, I'll be there on the panels too. Looking forward to connecting with a lot of people live at that. Look at all these questions coming up. Ooh.
You'll have the best footage there too.
I think you're biased, but I tend to agree.
Well, you have the best camera.
Oh, true.
You have the best camera so far.
Uh,
Until we get the other guys upgraded. I'm pushing them.
Okay. I'm going to get back to these questions here that I skipped over. So how to retire early while having a big budget. So yeah, definitely at the end of the day, it's very simple math. So the more you're spending, the more you need to make. So if you believe you need to spend $100,000 a year in order to reach early retirement, you're going to need 25 times your annual spending. So if you're spending $100,000 a year, you need $2.5 million to be retiring on a $100,000 a year spend. Now to get there, you're going to be earning a lot more than $100,000. If you're spending 100 and you're making like 120, the gap is so small. You only get 20 grand gap there. I mean, after taxes and things like that, you'd be in the negative. That's how people get into this paycheck to paycheck cycle. So I do believe you need to live within your means. Now, There are people I've met who make $1 million a year on Amazon. I met some really cool people actually who are doing exactly that. Some entrepreneurs I've met who are making bank, like $1-2 million a year. Those people can spend 100-200 grand a year, and it's still like 80-90% savings rates. So it's all relative to your income. You need to live within your means. And if you want your means to be greater, you need to earn more. That's just how it works. That's the math behind it. It's very, very simple math. If you save around half of your income, so save around half of your income, you will reach retirement no matter what your spending level is. If you're going to live exactly how you're living now in retirement, and that meant basically half of your income. If you're making 200 grand a year net, and you need 100 grand a year to live, then you'd have 100 basically for savings. Then in basically 16 point something years in regular stock market returns, you would reach enough that you'd have $2.5 million to retire based on 6-7% compounding interest. So that's the simple math behind it. That's really all it is. I can help you with strategies to spend less and get your spending down and get your earnings up. There are a lot of ways you can pick up side hustles. Real estate is a really, really easy one, guys. Kijiji resale, Craigslist resale is an easy one. You can just buy an iPhone on there, like snipe one up for $300 and then resell it for $400. Very common. You make $100 a transaction. I know people do that like 4 or 5 times a week. You make $500 a week just on the side. I used to do that literally while I was at work.
Speaking of resales,
yeah,
that floor polisher you found in this house finally sold it the other day.
Nice.
After like 400 requests
nice.
To information about it, finally sold it.
Nice.
So it's done.
So there you go. We found it in the. Just keep that.
Well, it was free, right? You
yeah.
found it.
Yeah. No.
So
keep that $40. That's example of like the Kijiji resale hustle.
Yeah.
If you get on point, I like technology items because they move quickly,
yeah.
and they're easy to transport and they're easy to carry.
So
like
half of it,
laptops.
I gave 20 of it to your daughter for her birthday.
Oh, true. There you go. So keep half. Half's a gift to my daughter. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. So yeah, the Kijiji resale is a good side hustle. That's easy, low barriers to entry. Just go buy like laptops for $600 that you know are worth $800. Go get a market. You go look at what's on the market, see what they're selling for. Worst case scenario is you buy something, you have to sell it back for what you bought it for. You waste a little bit of time. I used to use my work as a good place to do it on lunch hour. I would literally, like our baby equipment, we had like breast pumps I found for like $40, new in the box, never used, worth like $300. And then when we were done with them, I actually resold them for like triple what I bought for them. So we used it that whole time and sold it and still got money. So things don't need to cost money if you can find a way to architect the situation. I would use my lunch break to like just be on my phone and be like heading up. In the morning I get into work and like, 5-10 minutes, people are having their coffee. I'd just be like hitting up a few ads, send 6-7 ads off. By lunchtime, I'd have someone coming by who lived downtown too, and we kind of coordinate in my parking lot at my work and just quickly like grab the items. And then in the evening, I'd be watching some TV on Netflix, watching my favorite show, some Game of Thrones, some Breaking Bad, stuff like that. And I'd just be like, or coordinating a sale. So it's like, boom, there's a couple $100 a day. You can make $1,000 a week just doing that as a side hustle. And I mean, if it's cash, I'm not gonna tell the IRS you're doing it, but you could do that kind of stuff. That's a side hustle, right? And then you get into things like real estate too, where you can double your down payment really quick because of leverage. And someone just asked me to go on the board and do an example of leverage like I did last week, and I'd be happy to do it. Okay, let's go back up here, see what's good. These super chats, they make me so excited. I love super chats, by the way. This is like YouTube, I'm sure is so happy, and also me getting some money out of it is kind of cool too. People know I'm like super frugal. I'm big right now. You get your student card out, go to Harvey's, you get 2 burgers for $3, $1.50 a burger. I load them with like, they used to have the avocado, the tzatziki, pickles, lettuce, onions, tomatoes, just all of it. This big burger, little meat, but big burgers. It would be like, and then I get cucumbers on the side with like a big thing of tzatziki dip and like pickles on the side. So you get this like 2-pound bag for $3. That's how much I appreciate $3. I've had people in my family say to me, actually in extended family say, literally to our family, we're cutting you out of the will. You've already made it. We don't want to give you any wealth. We'd rather give it to the poor cousins who have spent all their money, who have drug addictions. And I'm like, where's the logic here? Like, you're gonna reward the losers and punish the people who are respecters and protectors of money? This makes no sense. This is how some socialist-minded people think, not on my side, on my wife's side of the family. And oh man, it just grinds my gears when people think that because you have money, you don't respect it. I respect the hell out of money. I can guarantee you the start of my TV series will not be me burning a $100 bill like Ben Mala does, because I respect money way too much for that. And interestingly, he does too. He's super kind of a frugal guy, but for some reason, I guess he wanted to get. I think it was just paper printed. It burned way too quick. Like there were some signals that, yeah, let's be honest.
So it's like it's not green enough.
I think it's illegal to burn money too. So why would he do that on public TV? He wouldn't do that. Although, like, is YouTube public TV? I don't even know. Should I create a channel? I mean, when this video is in pre-recorded and you're watching the replay, I need to know in the comments if that's something you would support. Would you watch that? Would you watch cut up segments of my life, of a day of my life a week, and the interesting drama going on in my life? Do you want to see that? I don't even know if I want to expose that. I don't know if my wife wants me to expose that, but maybe I should for the benefit of the people. You guys decide in the comments. Okay.
Jonas, you can't send frozen grapes through Super Chat.
What?
He said, too bad you can't send frozen grapes through Super
Oh, so like
Bring them up, Jonas. Bring them up.
frozen grapes are the best, by the way, guys. If you watch the live show, it's one of my I have some secret hacks for tasty, healthy snacks, and frozen grapes. They're a big one. They're amazing. They're like slush. They don't freeze up like ice cubes. You just have them like popsicles. Super healthful.
Cool.
Tasty. Yeah. Pro tip. Pro frugal tip. It's like $1. If you find them on sale, get the grapes on sale, freeze them up. You can just pop like 20, 30 grapes, get that fill of like the ice cream without any of the negative health associations like fat and sugar. There's natural sugars in grapes. Don't hate on me because I know there's high sugar in grapes, but it's natural sugar, guys. Okay, here we go. Tiger Rock says the content has been fire. Keep it going, Mike. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate that. It's because of your support that these videos are doing so well. It's because you guys are sharing it. Someone's been sharing this stuff out there in places like Reddit, on places like Facebook, in those groups where thousands of people are finding it and watching it. And they're obviously enjoying it and sharing it too. And that's how the revolution happens. That's how the FIRE movement takes off, guys. And even if 9 out of 10 people, it's over their head, 1 out of 10 people, you're going to change their life. And that's something that for me, it's been a big thing in my vision. In my vision board, it's like I keep telling myself, no matter what the haters say, no matter what the people say that, Mike, this is not a good idea, this and that. At the end of the day, I know that if I'm having an impact on basically the 25 of you guys watching right now, the 250 people that will watch this replay, you are my core following. I'm having an impact on you guys. It's evident from the super chats how much it matters to you guys that I'm doing this every single Wednesday. And I've not skipped a Wednesday, if you've noticed. I've been sick twice. And I got I have a 3-year-old daughter at home. So she just turned 3, by the way. So it's one of those things where I've committed a lot of my time. I could have locked up maybe 20, 30 deals. I'm making $40,000 on average a deal. That's $1 million. I could have made $1 million instead of doing this. Yeah, $1 million. Instead, I'm here with you guys. And that's the biggest thing at the end of the day is if you throw value out there, I believe it, I truly do. If you keep throwing value out there, people will respond back positively, as you guys do with the support. That's the big thing at the end of the day. It means a lot to me. Okay, let's go down here and see. What do you think about Montreal real estate investing? Go TO. It sounds like you're go Toronto, but then you're talking about Montreal. Interesting. Montreal, I don't know a ton about it other than that clicking is killing me, Kyle.
Sorry.
He's like slamming the click right in the mic. I lost my train of thought now because of the clicking. No, it's all good.
Montreal.
I have a taste of internet OCD. Montreal real estate market. I don't know a ton about the Montreal real estate market beyond what people have told me. I've been to Montreal maybe 10 years ago or so. So I don't have a strong grasp of what's going on in the market there. I'm a bad person to ask about the specific market there. At the end of the day, look at cap rates. What are cap rates doing in that market? And what does the economy look like? So I look at overall, when I look at an economy, I say, what is the diversity of the economy? They have a lot of education, because by the way, education is a large employer, right? So if you have in London, we have 75,000 students in total between Western and Fanshawe. We're one of the largest student per capita cities. And so think about how many people need to work in the colleges and in the universities to service 75,000 students. You have 10,000 jobs. It's the largest employer, I think, in London. I might be wrong on that. Definitely the ripple effects of that on the economy are huge. And I think servicing the students, there's a whole bunch of cleaning services and laundry services and renovation companies that have to fix the units up every year, and a lot of that boom associated with the education sector. But we have a lot of manufacturing too. We're like the largest food processing plant is moving here. Maple Leaf, and there's a bunch of other ones like Dr. Oetker are all here in London. That's something I look for in an economy. So I don't know much about the Montreal economy, but I would assume if you've got like a bunch of government jobs, a bunch of manufacturing sector, distribution, tech. Like London has a lot of financial and tech as well. As a percentage of the population, we have a decent amount of financial and tech companies. Some military stuff too. But it's, a diverse economy is really, really important when you're evaluating. You compare the diversity of the economy and the strength of the job market with the cap rate. So if I find a really, like for a long time in 2012, 2013, I was really bullish on London, 2014, 2015. I'm like, London's got a super strong economy, a really high average wage, and prices are low and cap rates are good. That doesn't make sense. Right now things are starting to balance out in London. I think it's more of a, I'm less bullish long-term on London's prospect. I think we're going to be a little bit more flat. Things may go crazy, but I think long-term we should be around the price point we're at now. Things are starting to make a lot of sense. That said, I mean, Toronto's crazy, so who knows what can happen, right? Look at Vancouver. Again, things like immigration can have a huge impact on an economy, right? Where you thought maybe this was the economic value of a local city, all of a sudden $1 billion in capital comes in from China or wherever, and it changes the whole game. So that's something to kind of think about when you're evaluating an economy. But cap rate to overall economic strength, I think, is the important piece. And at a certain cap rate, it makes no sense. Like at a 6 cap rate or a 5 cap rate or a 4 cap rate, which we're starting to see in London, but mostly in Toronto and Vancouver. In Vancouver, you have 2 cap rate properties. It literally makes no sense at all. Cost of debt is 4%, and you got like your cap rate at 2, you're losing 2%, and you're levering that up 5-to-1. So you have huge cash negative losses and negative ROI before appreciation. So that's not a position I ever want to be in when I'm evaluating a market. Hopefully that's helpful. Next question. If you started again, what would you have done differently? Love seeing another London man succeed. Keep it up. Zeb, thank you. Appreciate that. It was good to see you in the comments, by the way, and I'm interested to see you're quite successful. Obviously, you're doing your fitness coaching, and that's sort of interesting. Maybe we should meet up and hit a workout. I'm down. I could definitely use some more fitness in my life. I need to be more focused on my health. I work too much. Funny, retired but work too much on the things that I enjoy, and I consider everything to be work. You can ask anyone. I consider doing laundry at work, chores, driving somewhere to be a chore. Everything's a chore at the end of the day. It's work, and I guess it's work they get to choose to do. And that's the beauty of being early retired, I think, in a lot of ways. But if I had to start again, what would I do differently? I think in the outset, I would have got a mentor early on. I made a lot of mistakes at 17, 18, 19 about my first house. I didn't have any mentors. I didn't reach out to anyone. I was very introverted, very shy, very afraid to go to networking events. I went to no networking events. I didn't meet anyone. I knew no one. When I went to Bigger Pockets, like 2.5, I don't know, coming up on 3 years ago, and met guys like Matt McKeever. He only had a couple properties then. He was just retiring. All the guys there, like Jeff Bible, Matt McKeever, myself, Kellen Dillon. There's a whole bunch of us, Matt Gertz. All of us were in the this first meetup where I actually started meeting people who did real estate investing. And I was like, wow, like there's a thing. People go and network, and they have mentors, and they at least peers that they can share with. I was just by myself buying properties, and I thought I was doing everything right, and I learned that there was a lot of things I was doing wrong. And so that's the biggest thing, is finding a mentor, finding someone that can teach you and really help you grow. That's probably my biggest mistake, because I didn't do that until maybe like 2018. And even now I don't have any really, I have a couple mentors that I poke, but I don't have any, like I don't pay for any mentors. I don't do any coaching. Like I don't pay for any coaching. I've just been kind of growing solo. I've never paid for a course that's not true. I paid for my real estate licensing courses, but I've never paid for like a real estate investing course per se. I paid for financial courses for like my mutual funds licenses and real estate agent stuff, and obviously my Ivy education was very expensive. But I didn't really pay, I haven't paid for any specific coaching, like all those real estate investing courses. I'm like, I can just find that online and then find someone who's doing it well and provide them value, and then ask them questions and learn from them. So that's always been the way that I've approached things. But I think there is value in having that synthesized information and finding a mentor early on. Wished I would have done that. I really wished I would have. Okay, let's go up here and keep going with the questions. I just lost my spot. Jonas, what up? I see you there. David Moradi retracted his question. I'm not sure what he was saying, but I'm curious. Johnny, when you asked about international markets other than London, I mean, domestically, yes. Like within the province of Ontario, I will expand. It will happen. I will hit up other markets. I'm already identifying a few markets, but I'd like to get things down in London first. I'd like to really get a good presence here in London. But definitely, I will look into other markets. The tax implications and the lending implications of moving internationally, so to the US, for instance, scare me. Same with buying like a vacation rental in Costa Rica. It's on my radar, but again, like the fear of all of the complications associated with that have held me back this far. You have to develop an expertise in an area before I think you should jump in and exploit that, right? And I don't have an edge or an expertise in Costa Rica or the United States. So unless I met someone who could give me an edge, or I could develop that edge, which would require time, which I don't have right now, but if I were to put some time into that, then I would explore those markets, and it will inevitably happen. I'll also inevitably end up in large multifamily. It will just happen. There will not be enough small deals to satisfy. There is right now, but 100 million, 200 million, eventually you got to get into the big stuff at a certain point. So yeah, that's that. And the more I learn about real estate investing, the trickier it becomes. So I skipped over this question, but talking about paperwork, you talked about how competitive it gets with professional Zev. There's definitely a lot to it, 100%. Just even people I talk to who understand how to get a mortgage don't understand how to get a mortgage on a student property. Don't understand how to do a flip type property that needs a lot of renovation, or distressed derelict type building. They don't understand that it's a learning curve. To be good at financing takes dozens of deals. You need to learn how to talk to your underwriter, how to put together the right leases in their hand, how to present the right image, because it's all a narrative and a story, and you say the wrong thing, you make the wrong step, and it's an easy decline. And you could just do it again the right way with the right steps, the right strategy, the right plan, and you might get a yes. So it's very difficult to kind of maneuver the financing world, I think, when it comes to getting financing on properties beyond just your primary residence. A lot of paperwork, for sure. And when you get 10, 15, 20 properties, they want to see 2 years of T776s. I used to submit 300 pages to underwriters in my application. I had all the leases from all the properties that were 10 pages a piece times 40 units. So I would send in like 400 pages of leases. And they want to look over everything, and bank statements lined up with each lease. That takes dozens of hours to put together. It can be very complicated to put the financing together once you build a sizable portfolio. That's why it gets really smart to get everything in a folder and keep it updated, and you can just send it off to each of the lenders. Once you get your package together, it's very easy to shoot the same package off to each lender, but I got to a point where I had to bring a physical USBN because I couldn't email the documents. There were so many of them. It'd be like 10 emails. So I would just bring physical file in, and they could send it in internally. It gets crazy. Good questions, all good questions. Okay, I see this chat here. We skipped over that question there. Some amazing super chats. I want to highlight again. Thank you so much, everyone, for the super chats. It means a lot. Dominique, thank you. All you guys, really appreciate the super chats. It means a lot. It really does. If you started again, what would you have done differently? Love seeing another London man succeed. I talked about that question. Where did we leave off, guys? Maybe I will be at Ben Mellah's level. Maybe in the next 10 years. Not quite so soon. Is it possible to get started with rental properties in the US while living in a different country? Yes. Yes, it is. You can also buy properties in Canada while living in a different country. Totally possible. Can do it. There are more barriers. The financiers are less comfortable. They rely more on the manager. Who's your manager? How are we going to manage the property? You're going to be far away. So they may have risks. They may have doubts with the risks associated, and you may have to quiet those doubts. So it is a more challenging financing predicament, but not one that you can't maneuver through, theoretically. Johnny says, get the TV series going. For sure. I'm really looking into it. We're going to explore it, and maybe there's something there. I think there might be. Do I get a donation receipt? Donation receipt. I wish. I actually don't know. Maybe YouTube will give a donation receipt. I don't think so, because I think half of it goes to profit for YouTube. So I don't know how you get a donation receipt. I wish there was a way to donate. You know what I should do is set up no matter what you do, it's got to be a registered charity to be a donation. So I'd have the amount of paperwork to set up a charity. I'm just not going to probably do that. I'll be honest with you. No, not a donation. It is a donation, but you're not going to get a receipt. But it is appreciated. If you started over again, what would you have done differently? I love what you're doing. Thanks so much, Zev. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's tricky.
Covered that one.
Yeah, we kind of covered that one a little bit. Mentorship, I think, would be the biggest one. Talk about mistakes I made, same sort of thing. Jonas, good to see you. They can all hear you. They confirmed that. Let's go down and see what's up. How are you today? Amin says, how are you today? I am good. Gargantua says, I have 2 roommates. Should I put them under one lease or separate for the underwriter? Definitely, well, you live there, so I would still do one lease. Always cleaner to have one lease. Definitely. The banks don't like rooming houses. They don't like student houses. They don't like anything that's riskier than normal. So you just say like, oh, I have a lower apartment and I'm renting it out for, what their 2 rents combined for. That's probably the cleaner way to do it. And get them to sign the lease, and it's a legal lease, right? Because you got them to sign it. I wouldn't necessarily on the air say to forge anything, so get them to sign the lease. Okay. Should I borrow from line of credit for down payment? I really want to put more than 20% down. Crypto Cheese. It's a nice name, Crypto Cheese. Should I borrow from line of credit for down payment? Technically, you're not allowed to. You've got to show the funds are free and unencumbered in an investment account in your RRSP. You can actually use RRSPs to qualify and then borrow from your line of credit to close. But I guess on the day of close, I have seen people technically draw down their lines of credits and use them to close. I did that before. You can definitely do that. That's a strategy people do. So then you could buy 0 down by using a line of credit, unsecured line of credit to buy the property. Bring the 20% down payment from there, 80% from a lender. The banks don't like it as much. You can totally do it, especially if you have the cash free. You say, hey, look, here's the cash to buy the property, and then you just go and borrow the money to close on it. So I've done a lot of deals like that with 0 down. Even to this day, I still can do those. So good question, Crypto Cheese. 100% you can buy 0 down. You've got to have access to a good amount of capital. Or you've got to architect a vendor take back scenario or something more complicated and creative. Mike, I thought your old renovation tours were really cool. Any chance of showing more of them, even time delayed? William, yeah, great question. I think you can check those out, right? Like videos where I'm in the trenches. The video is literally called, I think it's just literally me in the trenches in the thumbnail. Did a lot of walkthroughs in some video from some properties. I can definitely do that. We've got if you go on my Instagram stories, you guys will see I got 6 properties under renovation right now. I can easily walk through a bunch of them. My fear is always if we cross the line, I just don't want to open up liability for the investor. So I've been trying to avoid that. But I could probably get permission from a couple of investors to go through some properties and show you guys what I'm up to, what I'm doing, crushing. Maybe this TV series could be that. Maybe it could be a bit more of the lifestyle thing. That might be something interesting. And then the Wise Wealth Show becomes my chance to teach and share. And maybe I make more videos on the show. We could try it, and if it fails horribly, what's the worst that happens, right?
Sure.
Put it out there and see if people enjoy it. We'll try to do clickbaity titles like what they do. They'll title the episode how to buy a car, or whatever. He does better titles than that, but bought a $15 million house, and it's super clickbaity.
Yeah.
And so they do it eloquently. I like the way they do it. So maybe it's something there. Tiger Rocks, can I sleep on the mentee couch for the weekend if I come down? I don't know, it's tricky. We talked about Airbnb and we worried it would kill the vibe. We already have a lot of people in the house.
Did you ever fill that last bedroom again?
Yeah, so we have someone joining the mentorship program.
Gotcha.
It'll be Jonas, Michael, and Antonio. So yeah, it's exciting to have him, come down. He's been coming down on the weekends, so that'll be kind of how we do that going forward with the mentee program. It's a great program. Super stoked to continue to have it and have these people around me. I'm basically creating the A-team, basically right around me with people who want to be part of it.
Surprised you didn't get Jared.
Yeah, that's a good question. He never approached me when I put the ad out, I don't think. No, he never. A bunch of people did. And for those people who did apply to the program, thank you so much for applying. There's a lot of restrictions around, US to Canada visas and things like that. And there will be more opportunities for the mentee opportunity. I think at this point I'm just so busy that I don't have time to be doing, when I host someone for a weekend, I host investors often for a day here and there. And it's just really draining to host an investor and have them stay here, and they suck up all my mind share, and then I don't spend enough time with my family. So my wife's been trying to limit me. I have a guest room too, and just having them limit me taking people in the guest room, just because I meet so many investors and so many people So it's a real challenge trying to balance. I'm not going to say no, but
So once
it's
the
tricky.
second kid comes along, you might have to say no.
I might have to say no. It's hard to say no. I'm a yes man, so it's really hard for me to say no. If you were in London, I would definitely make time to meet up as best I can. And then if I got 1,000 requests, I obviously couldn't honor that, but as best I possibly can. Like Tiger Rocks, you've been following since the beginning, so if you were in London, for sure. Lil Pump says, what up? What up? Oh, for OREC, okay. Maybe. I might even have an Airbnb that's open during OREC. I'll see what's up. I'll see what's up with that. The problem is my wife. I actually wouldn't care having like 12 people just like stay at my house. I wouldn't even care. But she's less forgiving. She tolerates a lot. I do a lot. And I work a lot. We have, anyway. Any tips for dealing with contractors that are way behind schedule? It's just normal. Build in that they're going to be way behind schedule. You could try incentivizing them with basically draws on the amount associated with certain targets. So they only get paid when they hit certain targets. It's one way to do it. And then incentivizes them to get like finished drywall stage, then they get a payout. Finish framing, they get a payout. Finish the floors, then they get paid. Mudding and taping get paid. Paint get paid, etc. And then they're incentivized to get the work done. And that's one way to keep ahead of contractors. The other way is just literally coming and visiting them. It's a real issue. It's the industry in general. It's tough to keep contractors on schedule. It's just the nature of it. Things always creep up and, distractions and things come up and stuff you didn't expect you're going to spend money and time on, you spend money and time on. It's the nature of renovations. Build it into your budget. If you think it's going to take you 9 weeks, plan for 12. At the end of the day, as long as there's enough margin in the project, it doesn't really matter if it goes over 3-4 weeks. You just plan for that accordingly. That's why I always have lots of margin in my projects. Gargantua says, is it possible 200K savings but minimum wage? What's possible? Early retirement? If you're already living on less than minimum wage and still saving, then clearly you're able to lean fire. So if minimum wage brought you $25,000 a year and you could live on 12.5, which people do live on 12.5 with rent hacking and house hacking strategies, you could theoretically, what is 12 times 25? That's how much you would need to retire. It's like 250 grand. So you could theoretically retire on $250,000 if you could live lean enough. Like early retirement extremes, Jacob Lundfisker, he retired on like less, I think around 200 grand, even less than that, just being super, super frugal. And so you can definitely do it. It's within the realm of what's possible. You could retire early. And then you could also continue to build your portfolio while being retired. You could, be retired and have all this free time and also pick up some side hustles along the way that may end up paying you better per hour than what your minimum wage job was. So sometimes you free up some time by quitting a job and something else fills that void and it's more valuable than what you were doing before. Hey, Michael Chung, good to see you on. Too bad you can't freeze the frozen grapes and send them through super chats. Yeah, true. How is there a thumbs down? So Scott Kemet, there's a hater that lurks and there's a subscriber who's notified. They have the notification bell on, which is good. I like that they have the notification bell on. But every time I drop a video, they jump right in and they hit the down button. I don't know who it is. It's like 2 of them that jump in and hit the down button like right away, instantly. And I know they're getting notifications because they're getting it in the first 60 seconds. There's no way they know unless they're getting a notification bell. So at least they're engaging with my content. I can live with that. You haven't made it until you have a hater. So I guess I'm starting to make it.
That's true.
It doesn't depress me.
If anything, it's really funny.
Yeah.
It's like the one guy and then everyone else is like upvoting.
Yeah, right?
It's like,
Except for the video that I did with Graham, which because I had the clickbaity title of like thumb. His catchphrase is dislike unsub. Dislike unsub. Right? So that's why I titled it the way I did. And it got a lot of dislikes, obviously, from people who found it in the search who were like, I love Graham, like, I hate you. And it's like, if you just watch like 60 seconds in, you'd see it was totally just a good review of his channel. Like, I love Graham. He's great. His content's amazing. It's on point. It's everything I hope my content can be. Regardless of what your wife says, please do it. Okay, I'll try. I'll try to do a show. Maybe we'll limit the exposure of what I show, right? I can not show certain things. And D's information says, we will watch if your wife agrees. Brandon says, think it's worth it to switch condo insurance from a 1K deductible to a 5K deductible to save $133 a year. $133 a year, so like a little over $10 a month. I think so. But I mean, again, I do have significant reserves set aside, and I know the probability. Let me put it this way: we've got like 50 plus buildings, and I've never made an insurance claim. Knock on my hardwood floors. Never made a insurance claim ever, and I've had flooded basements multiple times. I've had a lot of host of issues. I've had roof leaks and eaves troughs rip off and windows break and smash, and it's always been cheaper to just fix it than take the hit on my insurance long term because they up your rates when you make a claim. So I've just never, and then the hassle of going through the insurance company and getting the quotes, and what's my time worth to fight them for all of that, and then pay the $1,000 deductible, and like, let's say it's a $3,000 fix, and it's always just been cheaper to pay the cash and get it done. So I only have insurance because the bank makes me have insurance. And for those one-off events, if someone dies on a property, you have major liability, have the $2 million liability, maybe even get a $5 million umbrella policy on all your properties. It's cheaper because you can just add each property for like $100 and get the $5 million coverage for everything. That's something that I'm a big fan of. Have insurance for the what ifs, but again, make sure you have the money set aside and you are accepting that risk. In your case, Brandon, it might make more sense just to keep the insurance. It's $10 a month. It depends. Do you think you'll make a claim? I mean, probably not. But especially if you're talking about the condo that, like our condo together. Guys, make sure to thumbs up this live. That would be great. Yeah, and share it around. Like, I know Facebook and YouTube, Instagram are not working, but share it on Facebook and Instagram. That's why our viewership is down today, is because I can't promote this on Facebook or Instagram or share it anywhere. I don't know if Kyle, even in Fired Up Finance, probably can't even share it because Facebook's all glitchy. So I tried and had no success. Maybe they'll fix their server errors. Keeps drinks cool too. Okay. I'd like to see 1 week of groceries, but I may be the only one to watch the episode. I feel like we eat too much processed food. Thanks. William, good question. Yeah, I'd love to do, I actually should do a video on like how I buy groceries, or maybe even just maybe I should do an episode like later on, midway through the season, about how I buy groceries. I've been a lot more time focused lately, and so I've been less frugal. We still use Flip religiously, and I'm sure we get our $150 in groceries for like 75. Again, go to the superstore, all of those things that are necessary to unlock the, I'll do a little video on that, sure. Matthew Herbert says, Ant views on the UK market. I think he means any views. Any views on the UK market. I don't have a ton of experience in the UK market, but again, it comes down to the same thing I said when I'm looking at any market. I look at the diversity and stability of the economy. I look at some of the trends with immigration in the city. So what are they forecasting? You can go on the immigration websites and find out what the government is forecasting to allow into the country. Because in nice countries like the UK, Canada, United States, great developed nations, there's a wait list of people wanting to come into the country. And when people come into a country, they bring boosts to GDP. So there are some negative social and cultural issues, I guess, with immigration, but from an economic standpoint, it's pretty good, actually. More people in a country. Raw numbers help countries, help real estate, especially. So that's a big one. And then look at cap rates. You know, what is the cap rate in your area, and kind of go from there. What do you mean by deals? I don't know what you meant there by deals. You have to clarify for me. I don't see any clarification on that. Let me scroll up here. You have to clarify for me. Metal Mosh, HM Metal Mosh. These information says if I get my real estate license and make the license active, but I already have investment properties, do you know how it will impact me? It's not going to affect you negatively to have investment properties. Where you might have issues if you're joint venturing with people, then you're going to have issues. If you're doing property management, you might have issues. Doing construction work, anything where you can benefit outside of just the straight commission, they don't like that. So that's one thing to worry about. That's about the only thing. Antonio says, hey, gotta eat dinner, signing off now, but keep spreading the wisdom. Thanks, Antonio. Appreciate you jumping in, and have a good dinner. Can I live out of country and still get started with rental properties? So I answered that question a little bit earlier up in the video about how it's totally possible. Yes, you can. The short answer is yes, and I explained a little bit more about how that works, just more complicated with the financing. GoTO says, thanks, dude, I appreciate it. No problem, happy to help. Zev says, I would love to actually. Amin says, how are you today? We answered that question. You had 2 roommates. I answered that question. I would like to see people doing good. It motivates me. Cool. Happy to continue to try to do good. And if it can motivate you, that'd be great. That's the intention of this, is to help you in whatever way I can help, whether that's through imparting knowledge, whether that's just an entertainment value at me being a goof in front of the camera, or maybe it's, you know, a bit of knowledge or wisdom or motivational inspiration. No problem. Happy to help. We should show the newspapers I found the next Wise Wall show. Yeah, Jonas, we found some really cool, in one of our properties, and like in the wall, we found some really cool newspapers from like 1942. Had pictures of like Hitler and there was some articles about like shooting Nazis in the eye, some crazy stuff. And these were preserved in like really good condition. There was even Winston Churchill was on one of them.
Stalin's birthday too.
Stalin's birthday. There's some really cool.
I didn't know Satan had a birthday.
Yeah, he did. Come on. Well, we first see him in the Bible, right? I guess in the Adam and Eve garden.
Yeah, the snake in the tree.
Snake in the tree or whatever.
Yeah. Stalin was the snake in the tree.
I guess so.
Killed 100 million people.
No, yeah, he's definitely a bad dude. 100%.
This is as close to Satan as you get in the world.
Is there an advantage to subletting a multifamily home with less space, as in duplex versus quad? So duplex or fourplex? Logan, beyond being cheaper and full-time spent maintaining and managing multiple tenants. So is there an advantage? I guess so. You can get more rents. So like if it was the same, I think you mean the same square footage building as a duplex or a fourplex, I think was your question. A 1-bedroom, even a small 1-bedroom apartment will rent for way more than a 2-bedroom apartment. So if you had 2 1-bedroom apartments, they'd rent for way more than a 2-bedroom apartment. So a 1-bedroom apartment in London, for instance, will rent for like almost $1,000. A 2-bedroom rent for like 1,400. So the extra room adds $400, but an extra unit adds 600 additional incremental dollars, right? It's 1,000 in total. So it's almost always better to have more units. Almost always. Not always. Every situation is a little different, but for the most part, yeah, having more units makes sense. Is there an advantage to subletting the multifamily? So you're talking about like rent hacking maybe as well. I'm not sure if that was what you were hinting at. You have to clarify for me more specifically. Yesy Ray says, hey Mike, lots of love from Texas. Hey, lots of love from Canada and Ontario specifically. So welcome to the stream and thanks for tuning in. I appreciate the support on the videos. I think you mean subletting a multifamily home with less space. Maybe you mean renting a whole place and then re-renting out those, like a rent hack where you'd rent a duplex and then sublet the basement. I've seen people do that stuff too. So you can control an asset without actually owning the asset. That's a cool strategy. It actually works really well to make a ton of money. So that's something kind of cool. My parents owe money to the bank for their house. Would it be a good idea for me to pay it off for them, buy the house outright, and then turn it into a rental? No. Just no. You don't ever want to pay on your mortgage. Financially speaking, I know you can get a better your rate of return, your parents are probably paying on that mortgage is like 3-4%. Makes no sense to pay that off. You're getting a guaranteed 3 or 4% rate of return. So the question is, can you get a greater than 3 or 4% rate of return with the money? Probably. S&P 500, 7-8%. Rental properties, 20, 30, 40% rate of return. So I always prefer to buy more properties than to pay down a mortgage. Getting some calls coming in. Got to ignore that. Okay. The last part of that was to turn into a rental. I mean, aren't your parents going to live there? I guess. I always find people want to turn properties they already own into rentals. It's almost always better to sell the property and buy a property designed to cash flow as a rental property. It's almost always my strategy. Don't keep a property and try to make it a rental. That's an emotional decision because you already own the property. You should objectively say, is this a good rental property? Would I buy this if I didn't already own it? And if the answer is yes, then, then you should convert it into a rental. For the Rosehart snowball, that is. I don't know what you mean. Oh, okay, the 200,000 savings. Yeah, so if you have low income, it's harder to get mortgages. So that's where the bit of a snag is. I do know a guy who bought a house on minimum wage, so it's doable. You can still get a mortgage. He had to get a really affordable house that he could qualify for. So it's like 140K I think it's a 140K house, and he was able to qualify at minimum wage here in Ontario. So you can still buy properties. What'll really help you is you get a few properties under your belt, 200K savings, maybe you could buy a property in cash, show the rental income on the property with no mortgage, you have no expenses theoretically, and then throw a mortgage on that property using the rental income to help you qualify. And if you could rent it out for, say, $1,800 a month or $2,000 a month, that's another 25 grand to your bottom line of rental income. The bank might use 50 to 70% of that to qualify. So the rental properties actually help. If you have lower income, the rental properties really do help you qualify for mortgages really fast. So I found it got easier for me to qualify with having more rental properties and more income. So it got a little bit easier. Single income of 50K per year vs 2 people on minimum wage for the Rosehart snowball. Okay, yeah. So, right, yeah, that would basically be, in one of the videos I talked about that. That's like the bare minimum, I think, to get mortgages. 2 people on minimum wage. 1 person on minimum wage is tough. One guy making 50 grand a year, which is what I made, you can get some mortgages, no problem. Especially, I think the strategy of buying the house in cash, like you said, if you have 200,000 in savings, I think it was mentioned earlier, then you can use that to buy the house in cash, or depending on your area, buy like 2 houses in cash, and then use the rental income from that to help you qualify. And then your income starts to blow up. Like with all the rental properties, I had 6 figures income technically with all the leases and stuff. So I was able to keep qualifying for mortgages, even though I only made 50 grand a year. So that's where most people hit a roadblock, especially they're buying in Toronto, Vancouver, LA. The rental income isn't great, and so the properties don't more than self-service. My property is more than self-service. They made double or triple the mortgage payments. So the bank looked at that very favorably. I have a question about umbrella insurance coverage. Dee's information says, would you have the $1 million to $5 million umbrella coverage in addition to the hazard insurance coverage? I actually go for the minimum insurance coverages. I don't buy any extras. You're required to have liability by law of $1 million. So I would argue the $5 million liability would be smart. I usually have like $2 million, I think, on my properties, but I should, when I have some time, look into a larger liability coverage. I don't subscribe to flooding, earthquakes, any of that. I just don't subscribe to that. The risk of it happening is so low. If I get a flood in my basement, I'm just going to fix it myself. I'm not going to apply to the insurance company anyway. So even like literally even just a leak on the side of like a house, I can fix that so easy in like a day and just replace some drywall and cut the trim out. And my floors all have vinyl plank and tile in them for the most part, so they don't get damaged by water. So if you're smart in your construction, you have good properties, they aren't even affected by floods. You should have drains in your basements and sub pumps anyway, backflow preventers and stuff like that. A decent house doesn't really, you don't have that many issues. Michael Chung asks, is it possible for you to still get mortgages, or are you maxed out? Currently, I could probably still get mortgages only at credit unions. The big banks will not give me mortgages, only because I don't have 2 years of stable income. As an entrepreneur, when you own a business, you need 2 years of financial history statements and showing 2 years of consistent payment. If I could go get a job somewhere though, like I could go get a job at my old employer, make 60 grand a year, 70 grand a year, take that salary once I was there for 3 to 6 months, and I'd showed that I've been there past my probation periods and all that, and was stable and consistent. They see 6 months of history, then I could go borrow. I could get 3, 4 more mortgages. So you do lose that when you jump into fire. You lose that ability to get mortgages, but credit unions will still take chances. They'll do net worth mortgages. So will RBC still, I think. CIBC won't anymore. They used to. They're getting tighter and tighter. They had a big audit. They tightened up. Yeah. Logan says you answered all my questions. Thanks. Hey, no problem. We're almost at an hour here. This is the first time we're actually going to end a stream early, I think, which is amazing. It means I caught up on all of it. Oh, thank you, Instagram and Facebook, for being down. And less people being in here. Less questions.
For once.
I'm going to spend the next 3 minutes like just chilling. You guys can ask me whatever you want. I'll just hang out here. Got a bunch of texts here.
Make an Instagram post, but it's like, we'll post when possible. It's like, all right, cool. It's like I can't even promote.
No one's got any questions. Just chilling. You guys can watch me just checking texts on my phone. Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do.
Maybe you should ask them a question.
Maybe I should just end the stream and go to sleep. No, what do you guys have? What question can I ask you guys? Who is still on here? There's an easy question. Jump in the comments if you're still here. Can anyone still see me? Am I still here?
It still says there's 18 people there, so
18 people are still watching.
yeah, that's what it says on my phone. Oh, there you go, a couple more questions.
I don't have any videos from 2 years ago. Mike, did I ask about your old videos? Oh, Facebook videos.
Facebook videos?
Yeah, I did a daily video journal for like,
That's for a while.
yeah,
I don't remember how long.
over 6 months. I did like 200 of them. I'm just chilling right now, guys. This is nice. People are here. I'm here, still here. Online, yay. Are they on Facebook or how do you access them? Yeah, they're on my Facebook profile. Some of them are just stupid. I probably shared stuff that it wasn't meant for YouTube. It was just meant for like, yeah. I just put them out there because I was getting into Facebook in a big way, and I was like, you know what? I'm having an impact on these people's lives, so I'm going to share with my friends. Do you know Casey Wong? Scott, I don't know Casey. I don't. I think you mean the guy from Matt's videos who has some multifamily stuff.
Yeah.
I can't understand how they have that much cash flow when they're buying like at like 4 caps and 5 caps. I don't even know if I'd want to own those kind of buildings. I'd be interested to poke him. I think his cash flow in like Kitchener-Waterloo is just not a lot of cash flow. Same with Toronto. It's just in those areas, the cap rates are so bad that your cash flow is so small. They must be value add. That's how he makes money. I don't know. I don't know him. I've watched the videos though.
I actually watched those videos. I probably should.
Yeah, they're on Facebook. You can check them out if you want. I've got some old videos on YouTube too. We've been doing YouTube almost a year, coming up in a couple of months, which is cool. What is the minimum amount of property for umbrella policy? I think it makes sense for like 3-4 properties. Once you get a few, it starts making more sense. Goliath is there. Frank's still there. Also, don't get sued. Probably good to have a lawyer on staff. Thanks again. Yeah, seriously. I wish we had the margins for that kind of stuff. We're like shoestring budget. I literally don't even draw a salary from my company. What do you think about developing a property? Yeah, fair.
I don't draw a salary.
Exactly.
For mine or yours.
Exactly. D's information. What do you think about developing a property from scratch? I wash thinking about doing this because properties have gotten expensive in my area where I don't see cash flow anymore. Yeah, like in the market, I gotta go. My wife's home anyway. Yeah, like when price gets so high and when price gets above replacement cost, you want to start building like crazy. When price gets below building cost, you just want to buy up the entire inventory because you're buying it below what it costs to replace the inventory. It's a good deal. Yeah. So you don't have a clue. He says, I don't have a clue on how to get started with rental properties, really. Yeah, I got some videos on how to begin investing in real estate. Check out that playlist. It's a good one. It really starts with knowledge. You gotta develop your knowledge in your network and look at a lot of deals before you just jump in head first. I wouldn't just buy the first property you see, especially with an agent who's gonna rip you off. If you could partner with someone who's smart, who knows, who's been doing real estate for a while, that's a good place to start because they'll impart their knowledge on you, which is really, really important. All right, it's 8:14. I'm going to end this stream, guys. It's been a really good stream. Thank you so much for tuning in, all of you. If you're watching the replay, let me know that you watched the replay. I appreciate it so much. And this Saturday, really good video coming out. I want you to watch it, and I want you to watch it, not only watch it all the way through, but I want you to click on the next video after, and then go back and share the link for the video somewhere, in some group. Just share it somewhere. Because I know in those financial independence groups, people are all talking about the positives. What about the downsides of early retirement? As always, the key to unlocking wealth for you is to spend less, earn more, and maximize returns. You guys know it. I've said it 150 videos now. Probably said it 1,000 times. We need more likes. That's right, 100%. What are the figures for subletting to Airbnb in St. Catharines? Let's say 5-bedroom house for $750 a month. I'm sure you could rent out for like in a student area for way more than that, and then you get the difference. So you rent it and then re-rent it for more. It's a great strategy. It's called the rent to rent or the rent to let, rent to sublet strategy. Bye, everyone. I'll see you all on next Wednesday, 7 p.m. live, and I'll see you this Saturday in the comments. I'll be on vacation. I'll be in the Muskokas at a nice 5-star resort, but I will still have my phone and I'll be responding to comments. So I'll see you guys all in the comments. 1 push-up equals 1 like. Come on. I'm not in the mood for push-ups. All right. I'll do 1 push-up. 1 push-up. That's all you guys get. And then I'm ending the stream. 1 push-up. Let's focus on the ground. Oh, man down. We're okay. Did it cut out the stream?
Yeah, cut the stream.
Oh, never mind.
Camera.
No stream. Sorry, it's over. Failure. Failure. Oh yeah, that was the power to the camera. That was the continuous power to the camera. We're done. It's over. Bye, guys. I'll see you next week. Brandon, screw you. You destroyed my camera. It's all good. No hate here. Just love.